What up, y'all? Joe Breezy into his ass. Got the lovely Monica Rollins on and Richard Woody. We're going to talk about all things spooky. How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm all right. As I got home and freaking got all my beer in my fridge and poured me up a drink and jumped on, and I'm here. So.
Yeah.
There we go. I should be drinking. I'm drinking coffee. I should be drinking alcohol. I don't know why I'm drinking coffee. I've got one more show after this. I mean, I could just get completely just tore up and then go on to BMR's show.
Just blame Breezy. Like, I was on Breezy's show. It's his fault.
It's a drinking competition. What do you want me to do?
For real, like, especially when we do those real long shows when we're like pressing the 4 or 5 hour mark.
Yeah,
dude, I'll rewatch them, and because I'd progressively drink, and then it's like I'm straight in the beginning, and then like by the very end, I'm like, and you know what else?
Yeah, and things that YouTube probably doesn't like, start crossing that line, like things we can't say.
Yeah.
Say it anyway. We're small. Right. They don't care.
Right. Exactly.
I've got exactly like 200 people subscribed to my channel. So I'll say whatever the heck I want right now.
Yeah.
200 people. God, I don't wish I had 200 people, but it'd be nice. I got like 100. Actually, I got like almost 130 now. Yeah.
I think I have this is weird. So my YouTube channel, it's a lot of drone stuff. I used to do, like the same place we were trying to investigate tonight, that haunted place here in Cibolo. But I still have a lot of subscribers. And one of the main videos that keeps getting traction is the one I shot for West Memphis 3, the West Memphis. You remember the child murders in West Memphis, Arkansas? And it wasn't even my stuff. It was I took a collection of stuff from 1993 and I put some of my footage in it, and I just made it. And that's like, I'm still getting comments on it. But that's the only reason I have subscribers is from that one video, man. Everything else they don't really care to watch. It's just that one.
Isn't that funny how that happens?
Yeah, but there's a lot of subscribers, and that's same thing with my Facebook page. It's kind of a prick move, I guess. I had this page called like Woody Texas Haunts forever, and I'm also a real estate photographer. Cool. So I made a prick move, and I changed it from like Woody's Texas Haunts to Skies of the Southwest. So I kept all those thousands of people. And yeah, now every time I think about it, I just feel bad. But
I did that with my Facebook page.
Did you?
It used to be an old podcast I had, and it had already had like 1,100 subscribers, and I was like, we're just gonna rename that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're following my podcast, my other podcast now.
Yeah. It is what it is.
So this haunt we're gonna do tonight, but it got, I guess, postponed.
Yeah.
Give us the lowdown.
So Kim she's like a mom to me. She's a business owner. She's run that business for a long time, and honestly, I know she wants to retire. She's old school, so we've been planning this. We've already investigated this place a couple times in the past, but every week she's like, well, I would have liked a little bit of a heads up. Well, even though she had a heads up that we were coming, and my ghost hunting team is ready. They're like, next Saturday we're on, right? And I'll say yes, and then I'll text her during the week, Kim, we're still on, right? Yes. Well, it's always the last minute. She's like, well, she was dog sitting too, so she couldn't make it again. And yeah, this is time number 3 because Breezy was in town the time before the last, because he was with us, and Yeah, and I don't know. It's just so hard. Anyways, so there's other places that I should probably get us to investigate because this team is ready. They have the equipment. They're ready to go. They're always asking me, hey, where can we go? So I need to do some homework and find one of these places here in South Texas to go and get something done, you know?
We ought to check out that haunted hotel in Seguin.
Dean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down. If we could get permission, do people stay in that hotel?
I think so.
Is it fancy or is it on the...
It's old school. I know that. I know it's just a really, really old building. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what it looks like circa 1930s, maybe even the 20s.
Cool.
From what it looks like to me. Yeah.
If we could get permission to get in there, that'd be really neat.
You know? We'll have to do some homework on that.
Yeah, and there's also I guess an Airbnb in downtown New Braunfels. I shot some photos for these people at a New Braunfels Historical Society, and they said they have a very haunted Airbnb, and I was like, oh well.
I love New Braunfels. I'd be down to help you with that one.
You're in New Braunfels?
No, I love going there.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
up north of Dallas.
So you're north of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we go north of Dallas a lot. We go to Gordonville. I don't know if it's a small town.
Is it up by Texoma? It is, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's not far from me. It's maybe like 20, 30 minutes from me.
Oh, well, you know, that is such a beautiful part of the world. I love it up there. We almost want to move up there, but
it's definitely a slower pace.
Yeah,
because we moved here from Dallas, so yeah, I'm up in Sherman. I'm sure you know where that is.
Yeah. We eat there when we go to Gordonville. We'll go to Sherman. There's like a hibachi grill, and
yeah.
Oh my gosh, we go to all kinds of places up. Didn't y'all just get a big flood?
Yes, it was just this one little cell that just like was drifting real slow over town, and it just flooded like the main, because there's a lot of construction work on the highway right now. So it flooded all the underpasses, like really flooded the underpasses.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, New Braunfels is nice. It's growing tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Last time I was going, on 35, it's like from San Marcos to San Antonio almost. It's just like one big city. You know what I mean? It used to be you'd see patches, you'd go through the city, then there's patches and nothing. But now it's just like constant. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, especially where you're at now too, in Cibolo. Like last time I went to Cibolo, I think we were doing a show in San Antonio. That had to have been like almost, I don't know, man, close to 8 years ago or something. And there is still nothing out there, like nothing.
Right.
And then, I go to your crib and I'm like, what in the actual fuck is going
on? And I've told you about this, Breezy, like doing what the kind of stuff I do. I like to travel. And I like to go to these weird little towns. And I love photographing because I'm a photographer. So I like photographing these small little Texas towns, these little ghost towns. I love it. And living down here amongst all these idiots, and there's nothing here. It's just, we're constantly like, my wife and I we're talking, like, we're ready to get out of here again. We're trying to go on a vacation again. And we're like, well, where can we go? Where there's really nowhere nearby, like a small little mini getaway. But yeah, it's just there's so many people here. There's no trespassing on everything. So we have some interesting places here, like the insane asylum. So if you don't know, ma'am, there's a popular insane asylum in San Antonio. It was called the San Antonio Chest Hospital. I think that's what they called it.
Okay.
But it was, if you look it up, there's been some YouTubers that have gotten in there. it was a insane asylum way back when, but it was also a tuberculosis hospital. Well, now that building is owned by Bear County, and I've called, I've emailed. They just constantly say we don't let anybody in there. It's fenced off, nobody can get in. Everything you try to do in this area, I mean, there's a roadblock everywhere, and it's very annoying. It's
You just got to get in with somebody, with the historical society or preservation societies to kind of grease the wheels to do that.
Oh, I mean, it's just, a lot of us we want to preserve history. We're not trying to trash anything, and I wish it was that, but that's the area we live in. But when we go to Arizona, there's the Apache Death Cave right off the side of the road. No fences, nothing. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Actually, I haven't.
No, it's the story on it's very interesting. It's on.
I'm gonna look that up.
But if you walk up to that Apache Death Cave where a bunch of Apaches were killed in it, you can walk right up to it. You can go in the cave. It's all wide open. There's no trespassing signs. Nobody's going to roll up and say, hey, you can't be here. We could literally set up EVP equipment at that location at night, and there's very little traffic right there, and you could just have a field day. Could you imagine the stuff we could get there? I mean, geez.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be a good trip. That'd be a good like little mini series to do on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we could name it Ghosts of 66 or something.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I'd be down for that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since Joe and I are Apache, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I told him out there, the natives out there were such the nicest people you'll ever meet. I mean, just genuine, good people.
About 200 years ago is a little different, but
yeah.
if we saw Woody coming up 200 years ago, it would be nice.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would have been greeted well.
Yeah, they're very nice nowadays, though.
Oh yeah. So on the spot that you were doing, so what's like the specter? What kind of things that go bump in the night go on over there?
So Kim and others that have worked there, they'll be missing jewelry, and because it's a jewelry shop, they'll put a pendant. Say that I know she's talking about this pendant, and they looked everywhere for it, and then it would just show up right in front of them. Not in front of them, but they would like the whole time. They would hear a girl giggling. They had a cowboy that was walking through the wall. She explains the cowboy a lot. She'd always say, "Yep, I saw the cowboy again." So when we did the research on the place, it was an old bank. It still says bank on it. And it was also this one lady, older lady, said that this was where the only phone in town, in downtown Cibolo, the only phone in town where they used to call during World War I or II, I don't know which one it was, to give the bad news to the families, that so-and-so had passed away in the war. That was the only phone in town. So there was a lot of sadness, that came through that phone, obviously. The psychic that came through there says there's a little girl named Wilhelmina that lives there in that building, and she's the one that's playing all the jokes. Now, in 2017, I think it was, when we did our first ghost hunt there, I didn't know anything. I was new to this game. And so I was doing a lot of provoking. I was asking questions. I was filming. Okay, so there's a security camera in there, and Kim was saying, "Hey, Woody, there's a bunch of orbs flying into you." And I didn't think much of it. I thought it was dust, because we kept seeing dust floating, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, Woody, they're flying right into you." And then they're flying into Justin, my partner. So the next day, when I woke up from that night, we were hearing little noises here and there. I felt really sick, and I called Justin the next day, and I'm on a podcast. They're over there. Go there. Sorry, my kids over here. Say hi. So the very
man.
It's a special guest. Go play with your friends. Sorry, no, Tina. The next day we felt really bad and really sick, and I felt like I was drank all night. Yeah, and we prayed. Said Heavenly Father said this, and we felt better. So now I don't ever ask the questions. I just film the thing,
right?
Because of that reason. But something was in there, and we were hearing a lot of noises. And that's my other kid. Hey, babe. Hi. And yeah, so that's the 411 on that place. It's obviously got some history to it.
So this is obviously like old downtown Cibolo.
Yeah, downtown Cibolo. Like, yeah, I mean, cowboy days.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we just can't seem to investigate it again. Everything just kind of gets away, and
you have to find a different place in town, I guess, or nearby.
It's like I said, it's hard to come across places around here because everybody's so like, they shelter these places and they don't want anybody near them, and I guess they don't like the negativity that they think it will bring. I don't know.
Yeah, kicking up dust.
Yeah.
If I had like a haunting going on, I think I'd want somebody to get in there and give me more like answers, like explanations, like,
Yeah, because Kim lives at that shop. So ever since COVID, or about somebody breaking into her jewelry shop, and that we had riots. You remember we had some riots and stuff?
Yeah.
And she's strapped to the gill, and she lives in there. So she's experiencing this a lot. And she's got a video of something that she caught on camera, and she's going to send it to me, but I don't think she knows how to send it to me. So I'm going to try to just get that off of her phone and put it online or something.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you get when you do finally get in there.
So I hope it's good, and we'll record everything. But one thing about us, man, and the last time we filmed all this, we didn't put the second time we investigated this place, we had some EVPs, but I didn't release anything because everybody was asking me, how come you haven't released a video for it? You promoted it, you made trailers for it. And I said, we simply just didn't find anything that time. And I'm not going to be that guy that's going to, fake some stuff like they do on TV, which
don't do that.
And it's a shame. They do it with the Bigfoot stuff, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, they do it with everything, but they either do it and, because people complain about you're not finding anything, or you do like a quasi-real investigation where, 99.9% of the time it's boring as hell.
Right.
And nothing happens. Like nothing happens. That's actual investigation, like for Bigfoot and cryptids. Like 99% of the time, you're hearing coyotes and owls in the distance.
Right. Right. But it's out there.
But I mean, that's why I had this series in mind to do like years ago. It never happened with a group of friends, where it would be like a YouTube like series, right? Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be like constant, like we wouldn't always do it, but we would like kind of road trip, I guess. We would have, friends of ours tell us about haunted or, cryptid places or weird stories in their town. And then we will investigate that, because everybody knows about the big, the big ones. But what about the little tiny ones? That's where my interest is. I want to know about the hauntings that not everybody knows about. I want to know about the creepy local legend about, owl dude living out on the bridge or something. I mean, that's what I want to go.
Goat man.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, yeah, goat. I mean, but everybody knows goat man. I want to know the smaller ones, like the regional ones that not everybody knows about. That's what I want to go look at. Yeah. I think that would be fun. So.
Heck yeah. Well,
what was that? I think it's in San Antonio, right? Where the dude was dancing at the club all night, and then they looked down, he had chicken feet.
El Cummins. Yep.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, man. Yep.
I mean, it's not well known as far as the rest of. I mean, Texans know it. You know what I mean? Obviously, Texans know that one because it's supposedly in Texas. But like if you tell someone from like North Carolina that, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah. I like the Bragg Road too. I don't know if that's big.
Out in East Texas?
Yeah, the lights.
Yeah, I've been on that road. I saw the light.
Did you really?
I did. It was freaky.
I wonder what that is.
I couldn't figure it out because, when you hear stories like that, you're like, it's just swamp gas, or, it's like because there are people that live off of Bragg Road. And I'm thinking, it's just a local jacking with people, it's something like that. Right. But the night that I saw it, it was storming, right? A big storm had come through because I used to live like out in East Texas, and it was like 45 minutes from me. So I drove out there. It was like 2 a.m. Big storm had come through. It's a dirt road.
Yeah.
And
a lot of dust flying around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was muddy because it had just rained really hard.
Yeah.
So my husband was driving. We were going down the road, didn't see anything going one way. We get to the end, turn around, come back the way we came. And as we're coming, you see the little light, right?
Right.
And it does this, it gets small, and it gets big, and then it gets small. And I'm telling him, I wonder if that's a light. And he starts speeding, and it's a pretty straight road. And no matter how close we got to it, it didn't get any bigger.
Oh, wow.
It stayed pretty much a constant size from down the road to close up, closer to it on the road. And I'm looking because I'm like, somebody's got to be jacking with us, because it looked almost like a motorcycle headlight, except it did this. And I'm looking, on these driveways and little turnouts to see if I see tire tracks, because ours was the only tires coming down the road.
Right.
So we only see our own tracks coming back up. And I'm looking to see, is there somebody on a bike? Is there another car that maybe we didn't see? There was nothing. And then we got like almost to the end of the road, the light just blinked out. It got big, small, big, and then it just closed in on itself. So that was crazy.
Yeah. And see, that's on my list. I never go east though. It's rare when I go. I always go west.
There's a lot of crazy stuff east. You should go east.
I know. And that's what me and Breezy were talking about in New Orleans. And there's even into Florida, there's some interesting stuff there, man. I mean, just what is that chick, that murderous chick, that the prostitute that was murdering people?
They did the movie about her.
Yeah,
Eileen.
Oh, Eileen Warnes.
Yeah, like that. I don't know. I'm just so interested in that kind of stuff.
Well, heck yeah, you get serial killers in the mix. I mean,
right? Well, yeah, and that was the same highway stomping ground as Henry.
Oh, really, Henry?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to tell y'all something about Henry Lee Lucas. You ain't gonna believe.
Well, you're froze.
True story. And my dad was a bad dude. I mean, real bad dude. And not a bad dude, but he was a bar fighting, just tough SOB. And I remember we would always tell him, like, he would tell us about them, and he'd say, because he didn't obviously know that they were murderers. He hired them. They were in town, and he hired them to help him with roofing and stuff. And he would describe Otis Toole as one of the ugliest people he'd ever seen in his life. He's just an ugly, ugly son of a bitch. And we'd say, Dad, what if they would have tried to kill you? And his thing was, them son of a bitches weren't mean enough to whoop me.
They probably knew that.
but you know, honestly though, Dad would have fed them their heart. Dude. He was that guy.
Yeah.
But he hired both Henry and Otis, and before he got caught, and yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my story with it is my mom actually she was in jail in Georgetown, Texas.
Oh, that he was.
Yeah, where he got when they were holding him before they sent him to upriver.
Yeah, when he was a superstar.
Yeah, and like she was in the female jail, of course, but all the inmates were like, "Oh, dude, blah blah blah, he's right." My mom was like, "Yeah, I was in jail when he was."
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's as close as I got.
He did some crazy things. I was an evil man. Both of them were nuts.
Yep. Yeah, very nuts. One of them killed Adam Walsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They said it was Otis, right?
Yeah, Otis did it, and it's a weird connection. I don't know if you heard about that connection with Dahmer.
No.
No?
I haven't.
So Dahmer was where they found the kid's head.
Mm-hmm.
Dahmer was there at that same location. Y'all can look this up. And they asked Dahmer when he was already caught and arrested for his exact words were, "I don't kill kids, dude. I don't." But he was there at that same location where they found the head. And I don't know why he was there. He's from like Wisconsin or some shit.
Right.
They found his head, the kid's head in Florida. Somewhere in Florida, thrown off into the marsh over there. And
yeah, I remember it was in like plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, just horrible. How could you do
that? Yeah, and the body was like up the highway so many miles.
I didn't think they found the body.
Did they not?
I didn't think they did.
Swore I saw something.
I know they found the head. I know that.
Yeah, I thought they couldn't find the body, and that was like the big thing is, they didn't know where his body was.
Oh no, it was. Oh man, I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I'm getting like flashbacks of documentary. No, like somebody. Fuck, I forgot how it goes, but somebody either saw like what could have been the body in a trash bag in the back seat or in the van or whatever it was. But yeah. No, yeah, it was a eyewitness kind of thing.
I remember when all that happened because he was basically my age.
Yeah.
Again, he might have been a year younger than me.
Who was your age?
Adam Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that stuck out big time.
That's like I couldn't imagine. Like I have two boys. And these guys always wonder, I'll get it, babe. They always wonder why.
I want to do it.
This one right here, we're in the Grand Canyon. This is Cash. He went to the restroom at the Grand Canyon with 1 million people there, and then he just walked off and disappeared and freaked us all out.
I'd have a heart attack.
And you know what? I always think about that Adam Walsh thing.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Think about it. Like
it was traumatizing as kids. And I remember seeing the TV movie about it. I was like, holy crap, because they show them finding what body part they found. And I just remember being a kid going, holy.
Yeah.
Somebody does that to kids?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
it's crazy. And growing up in the 80s.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, it was like left and right, man.
Dude.
Like the milk carton thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we used to always hear about all that stuff, but we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, I remember one night we almost got kidnapped by some people. I don't know what their intentions were, but we were camping in the backyard of one of my friend's houses, and these guys like legit tried to kidnap us, and we never told anybody. We kept it in between, our group of friends because our parents would have had our ass.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. Somebody tried to kidnap me too once. Yeah.
No kidding.
No kidding. Yeah. It was an epidemic in the 80s.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I guess it still happens nowadays, but a lot of these kids, like I know my kids, they stay in freaking side, and I like, dude, you guys don't even like get suntans and shit. But then again, they're probably safer than our crazy asses were.
Yeah, I know. And I just think about that, like, the way that the guy tried to kidnap me, I think, would my kids have like had the same reaction? Like, would would my kids like go missing? Like, because it's such a different generation, right?
Yeah,
Because we were kicked outside, like after breakfast, get out. And then,
right.
The 10 o'clock news would come on and they had to remind your parents that they had kids. Because it'd be like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
That's where that saying came from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We left the kids outside.
There wasn't no cell phones and shit. Hey, and you remember the Texas killing fields?
Yes.
That was some.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy too.
On 45.
Yeah.
45 right before you get to.
It's like going to Galveston. All right, tell Mom I'll be there in a few. Yeah, on your way to Galveston. That's from Houston. Yeah, babe. Yeah, just be careful. But yeah, that's as far as Kim goes, I'm hoping she'll. I don't know. We need to find some place to investigate. So you, Monica, you have a podcast, huh?
I do. It's called Our Paranormal World.
Very cool.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. And I'm doing a little short series about different fae and just folklore. And then I had guests like Breezy on, and I had Chris Garitano on a couple nights ago.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That's right up my alley.
Please do. I'll be in New Orleans with y'all.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I've always heard it was like super spooky there.
It is.
But so you've been there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I love New Orleans.
Is it safe? Like
parts of it are safe.
Parts of it, yeah. I always heard like there's some like one of my buddies just came back from Ralph. Breezy knows Ralph.
Ralph.
Yeah, they said that somebody tried to jack him in broad daylight on a Sunday when everybody's supposed to be at church,
Well, I mean, the Quarter is fairly safe just because, that's their bread and butter. So they're going to make sure that like tourists are okay. So the Quarter is fairly safe, but you get outside of that, you go kind of towards Frenchman Street, like the jazz area, like Treme.
Right.
Like the main area of that's pretty safe. But, when you start kind of wandering off down,
that's like in any city.
Yeah. I mean, it's a major city. And the Garden District is pretty safe. Like the residential area is pretty safe. Like between St. Charles and Magazine Street, really even down to the waterfront. I mean, I didn't really have any problems the last time I was there. I was there with a couple of girls, and we had walked to dinner one night, and we had to like walk because our Airbnb we thought was on the south side of St. Charles Street, which is like the nicer side. And we were about a block on the wrong side of St. Charles Street. So we walked to dinner anyway, and we were just kind of like on the border. And coming back, I mean, it's definitely got like a hoodie presence, I would say, after dark, because this one dude started following us. And
start getting weird.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, like, I am frog. I will jump on you.
Yeah.
Like, wrong girl.
Yep.
And he was kind of mumbling to us. He was just talking crazy. And I knew he was following us specifically because they were all kind of hanging out in front of like a 7-Eleven. And when we walked by, he broke off from them and started walking behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend had mace, and she was palming her mace. And so Stephanie had mace, and Natalie's like, I'll just talk. I'll distract him. And I was like, I'll find something to stab his ass with. Like, I'll stab him with a tree branch. I don't give a shit. You come up on me crazy, you're gonna know.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, they like I said, areas are safe. You just read the room. If you're street smart, you're not gonna have a problem. You'll know.
Yeah, and I usually have my kids with me, or
I wouldn't take kids.
Yeah, it's these kids of mine have been all over the place. They've been some of the weirdest. I think I told you, Breezy, that one of the weirdest places was Mount Carmel, where the
Branch Davidians,
the David Koresh thing happened.
I used to hang out there all the time when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, that's like right by you. Well, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I hung out with Eric. He used to live in Waco, so we'd go out there and before it all went down, we'd go out there and hang out.
Before it went down?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like in the early '90s, yeah.
Man,
we'd go down there and hang out and shit. Yeah,
dude,
they were cool. They were cool people, man. Just a bunch of guitar playing hippies and shit.
Yeah. I thought it was so bizarre that I almost want to go. I do want to go back there and just photograph it. I met the guy there. He was super nice. But it's weird how they have the berms of dirt around the trees, and you can dig into that dirt because that's where the government plowed everything down, right? After the fires and stuff. And we were pulling out landline telephone cords,
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. Like all those old artifacts, just because when they plowed it down, they didn't back drag the dirt around the trees. They just kind of left it. And there's still razor wire out there with like old Sprite cans in it you could tell they're from the 90s. It's like a time capsule. It's very bizarre.
Can you imagine the energy that's stuck to some of that stuff?
I would love to do like EVPs out there.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get permission. Dude, that would be a good one. If I could convince that guy, he's got one eye missing. He's on a lot of documentaries. He's the guy that lives out there now. Super nice guy. We interviewed him. It's very bizarre. I don't know if you've been there lately, but I got some photos online.
Years.
It's been years, right? So
decades. Shit.
Yeah. Well, when I went, this was bizarre. It was 2017, I believe. Right when we went into the church, they rebuilt the church. All you see all over the place is Hillary for prison. All over the place. and pictures of David Koresh like all over the place too. So bizarre. I have photos. I have them on Facebook. I'll have to post them. I flew the drone around. I took all these photos and stuff. But that guy was super cool. And we told him we were documentary filmmakers, and he wanted to at the time to do a documentary on how, I guess, Bill Clinton flew into Mount Carmel before this all went down. He actually flew into there.
Huh.
And Justin, my partner at the time, was like, I don't know if we should touch this, because everybody was scared of Hillary during that time. So, we're like, let's maybe not touch on that.
You should do it now, though. That'd be awesome. I think you guys would get a lot if you could get on there.
I wonder if we can get our paranormal team out there.
That's a halfway point too for all of it. I mean, because you're in Dallas, that's right.
Oh yeah, I'll drive you out for sure.
And that would be neat. I'm gonna make a note of that right now.
That would be really cool.
Oh yeah,
I've never been there, and that whole thing is just trippy to me. I remember watching it on TV going down.
Well, we were all lied to, right? I was in middle school during that time, and
see, that's why I was like, I smelled the bullshit a mile away, because I'm like, dude, those dudes, they did have a compound, but but then whenever the investigations came out and they had all the infrared footage, that's when I was like, dude, saw how bad it really was, because they literally well, first and foremost, they had that helicopter shooting into the building,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and not only that, but the one that pissed me off the most is because they have the 911 calls playing simultaneously with the infrared footage, right? And they're already poking holes in the building and setting it on fire and all that shit. And on the 911, they're like, all right, look, we're taking all the kids, because they had a big cement walled pantry. It's like a storm shelter.
Right.
And they said, we're taking all the kids and we're putting them in the pantry, just leave that fucking spot alone, and we'll duke this out how we do it. And like, as soon as they say that, you watch that tank back up and go head right to the spot. And it put that, the smoke injection thing, nerve gas right into the pantry. And they said that when they found those kids, not to be graphic, but the nerve gas was so hardcore that the back of their feet were touching the back of their heads because they were seasoned so hard.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's just fucking cold, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck with the adults all you want.
Right. Yeah. That's cold hearted. And you know that mangled school bus where the kids were is still there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Really?
There. Yep. I'm gonna send the photos to you. They're on my Facebook from years ago. Do you remember that iconic pool that it was always in the? It was like a cement pool. That's still there. But that got me, that mangled school bus. It was an underground bunker. They just filled it with concrete, but that's where the kids were.
Mm.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that pool. Yeah. It's like an old pool, and I still have that 4K from back then. Believe it or not, 4K footage of that compound, what's left of it. That, and along with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house location before they built it up. I got that the same day.
When it was in Round Rock still?
Yep. Before they did all that building, I got some drone video of all of that where the house
was. after they moved the house, but before they built over.
The house was long gone, but it was like still you could see Quick Hill and everything. But I'm gonna try to get us in there, man. And that house, there was a house across the street from where all the ATF people were staying. I don't know if you remember that. They took the house across the road from them.
Yeah, they confiscated it, made it HQ.
They bulldozed that too. That's all gone.
I bet.
I'm surprised any of it's still there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a bizarre thing. Some of these things in Texas, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other crazy things that have happened around here, but that one takes the cake, man. But yeah, we were talking about like how we watched that in school and we were pretty much lied to. Same thing with Charles Manson. Charles Manson didn't kill anybody that we know of, but you remember how they used to make him look like such a bad guy, but when you get older, you're like, hey, I kind of see where that guy means, like.
He was legitimately crazy. So my cousin's husband was a prison guard out in San Quentin. And he's like, yeah, Manson was crazy.
I bet you tell
that man was like completely batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But, but that also got me too. It's like, okay, and I guess that was the beginning of it. But, now if you say, go excommunicate yourself, then you get in trouble for it if they do, but like, you can, I don't know. It just always struck me weird at how you can suggest something. And if somebody does it, you get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I didn't actually do anything, but I said, y'all go. And they made their own. Yeah. They made their own mind up to believe in my bullshit and go carry out my orders, and go do it. And now I'm in trouble. I don't know. And to me, it's a thin line. It's a thin line. I can see how it is, fucked up, but like, the rest of your life in prison just because you're making a suggestion or an order when you're not like under any lawful government order.
I don't think he got out of prison though. I think he felt safe there. I mean,
yeah.
I have a cousin that just keeps going back. I mean,
that's what they know, right?
Yeah, and he does this shit on purpose. He literally just got out about a year and a half ago, and he came home and we had this little party for him, and he's trying to act all hard and shit. We're like, dude, what's wrong with you, dude? Chill out, dude. And back in there,
like Doughboy on.
Yeah, he's
domino.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? The Don't Be a Menace. He's on.
Oh, yeah.
You ever see this soap run down the crack of a man's ass?
Dude, I don't know, man. He might have a boyfriend over there. I don't know, but for some reason
Did Clay come over here?
No, baby. For some reason, he just wants to live that life. But hey, more power to him. He's back in, and
that's where he's comfortable. Then, all right.
Yeah, that's. So up where you live, real quick. I don't want to keep you too long because I know I gotta burn out of here.
Jesse's wife's name?
Who?
Jesse's wife.
Jeanette.
So
Are they in the house?
All Jeanette.
They're out.
Okay, I tell them I'll be right there. So up there, where you're, is there anything interesting up there where you're at?
Well, there used to be the old woodsman home, right? That it was this big Gothic like sanitarium looking thing that they tore it down a couple of years ago, which sucked because there's all these stories about Satanists going in there and there's all this graffiti on the walls and crap, and that's kind of place I'm going to be like, I'm going to go check that out.
Yeah.
But again, it was similar to like what you're running into. It's private property, it's fenced off. If they catch you in there, you get arrested.
Such a bummer, man.
Yeah.
What about into Oklahoma? Do you ever go like venture into Oklahoma a little bit?
So I do. And there is this one place that I do want to go to. It's an old like Indian school. And a friend of mine had told me about it. And he's a Bigfoot researcher. And that's what we were doing. But he told me, he goes, I don't generally believe in ghosts. He goes, but when I was at this place, he said, we were standing there one night, doing our investigations. He said, a mist came out of nowhere. He goes, it was a heavy mist. He goes, and it formed up into a form and it traveled across and then it dissolved back into the ground and kept going.
Holy cow.
So I can get that location from him because I can't remember where it was in Oklahoma. But yeah, that's one place that I do want to go to. And then there's a cemetery not too far from me, and it's the Circus Cemetery. Are you guys familiar with that in Oklahoma? It's where it's this crazy cemetery that's got all these amazing headstones, but it's where a lot of circus performers are buried. It's really
like cool. Old school, like the oddity.
Yeah, it's everything.
Interesting.
I just think that would be an interesting. Well, I love cemeteries anyway. They're just places I'll go check out. But to do like a little investigation around in there and see what's up would be fun.
That would be so neat.
Yeah,
that would be.
Well, there's this right up the road. There's this, and it was weird because I totally forgot about it because I don't really go that way towards Austin that much anymore. But Jen reminded me about it when we were talking about some paranormal stuff, and there is a cemetery like probably about 3 miles, not even that, maybe 2.5 miles up the road, that at night, it could be winter, it can be summer, it don't make a shit. There's always a mist coming out of it going across the road, like a fog.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's just like one fog, and it's always at that cemetery. Never fails. And it's actually, I think it's a family-owned cemetery because it's not that big. It's probably like maybe a half acre at the max. You know what I mean? If that.
Yeah. See, the little tiny cemeteries, like the out of the way ones, like on the outskirts of some podunk town.
Right.
you know, like early settler kind of stuff. That's where I want to go. I want to go to the one that like, people don't know about.
Right. So speaking of that, over here, like a few miles from me, and it's on private property. I'm still trying to figure out how to get. There is a yellow fever cemetery, and what it is, it's where all the people that were sick in San Antonio from the yellow fever, they buried them way out in Selma, Texas. That's where I'm nearby. Yeah, Breezy knows Selma, Texas.
Speed trap.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how they make their money.
That's where they have the yellow fever cemetery, they call it, and it's bizarre because they really thought that all those people were going to contaminate and get everybody else sick. So they buried them way out in Selma back before Selma was like a town.
That'd be a good one to go to. There was one that I found, and I don't know where. I'd have to try to find it on a map again, but it's west, because my first husband and I, and this was like years ago because I was in my early 20s. We had friends that lived out in Santos, and that is like west of Weatherford. And there was this old cemetery out there. I mean, it was clearly like settlers type of cemetery. And there was this one section that was nothing but kids. And they were all dying around the same time. And I was like, it had to be like scarlet fever, yellow fever. It was something.
Could you imagine living in those times?
No. And it makes you think about that too when you walk through these places.
Real, man, because
was that?
Real quick, I got to get off of here. But what about you? Are you familiar with Bugs and the Bigfoot story out there in West Texas, like the Panhandle? Are you familiar with that Art Bell story?
Bugs, yeah, I think so. Is he the one that claimed to shoot it?
Yes.
Yeah, and buried it.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Did I talk to you about that one? Were you familiar with that one?
Nah, man. I'm like, huh? What?
Okay. Yeah. That was okay. So this guy named Bugs, he supposedly killed 2 Bigfoot out there. He was on the Art Bell show and had a map, drew up a map and everything. I always wondered if that was like legit. What do you think? You know what? It wasn't Breezy I talked to this about. It was Lyle Blackburn.
Lyle would. No, that bug story, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought it was out on the Sulphur River, though. Thought it was in the Sulphur River bottom.
They called it Elm Creek.
Okay.
Elm Creek. So Lutai or Luti, however you pronounce it. That's where this all went down, apparently.
So from what I remember of the story, I thought it was legit. I did. I mean, and I still kind of do. I have to remember it because I've been doing this for like 22 years. So, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff cramped in my
head. Yeah. Well, Lyle Blackburn wasn't too convinced, but, I always like to ask Bigfoot folks that, what they think about it. And what about, one more before I get off here. Bigfoot Elaine. I know you know that name. No? Yes?
I don't.
Okay. So Bigfoot Elaine is in East Texas somewhere. She's the one that called into Art Bell that had the Bigfoot living on her property. And oh my God, that's one of the best Art Bell shows I've ever heard in my life. Because
I'm going to have to look that up because I lived and investigated in East Texas for years and years and years.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Just take note. It's Bigfoot Elaine. If you Google that, Bigfoot Elaine, East Texas, Art Bell. So it'll blow you away. The episode was pretty long, and it was I believe it's when Art Bell came back from retirement before he passed away. And the woman sounds so convincing. She's an older woman, and she lives there with her son and somewhere in East Texas. And she says this thing, just yells at her, just shouts at her, and she leaves it sandwiches and pies and stuff to like kind of. But she's just so convincing, like that way she says it. And Art Bell's just asking her, like, so is this thing, are you guys scared of it? And her son got on the phone. He says, oh, yeah, his nostrils were right at the window one time and it scared the heck out of him.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you might have heard it. I mean, so I've been trying to find this woman for years. If I could just find out who she is and where she, a phone number, I could try to ask her, hey, can we, because this thing lives on her property. And she says that thing stood up next to that hay bale, and it was 7, 8 feet tall. And
she saw it wearing clothes.
Yes, it came. It had clothes on it. One time, it jumped across I guess, a barbed wire fence, and
Bigfoot's wearing Jinkos and shit.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, East Texas is just full of all kinds of creepy, crazy stuff.
Right.
I did the Bigfoot investigations, but that's where I had a lot of like my like just creepy, weird, like paranormal stuff happen too. Because while you're out doing Bigfoot research, other stuff is happening around you too. Yeah. Like I saw like a duende, right? Like a little person, like a gnome kind of little dude. And I had a phantom car roll up on me in the middle of the night, like full on rolled up. I thought my friend had pulled up behind me until I got out of the car and there wasn't anything there.
Holy cow. Yeah. That's Texas, man. We need to go out there, man.
Yeah. And there was this one, when you were talking about her, it reminded me of this, like one of my first investigations, like real investigations, was out in Woodville. And it was this chick who lived with her son, like kind of out on this property. There wasn't really anybody around them. And they were claiming that, Bigfoot was coming up constantly and it was stealing, like she used to have miniature goats and it would just pick her miniature goats up out of the pen.
Wow.
And walk off.
Like her, except for the goat part.
Yeah. And it pounded on her trailer. And I remember doing the physical investigation and I'm taking notes. I'm asking the questions. I'm doing the field research and they're trying to show me, like, this was a very old trailer. And they're trying to show me this dent that had supposedly recently happened. And I was like, I can't tell you that dent is fresher than this dent. Like there were dents everywhere. And that was one place though, that they wouldn't let me walk on the property unless I was armed. Like they wouldn't let me walk their property unless I had a gun on me. And they, and her son had to accompany me. Like he wouldn't let me walk by myself.
Yeah. Jeez,
and I found a gator track. I remember I found a gator track like coming up out of the creek. And I was like, the hell is a gator track? I mean, there's gators in the lake not too far away, but like this was like, then the creek was dry. And this, I mean, it was a decent sized gator track.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Man.
So, I mean, yeah, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff going on out there.
Yeah. See, we need to go east, man.
Heck yeah.
East.
I'll set us up at that campground where I saw the creepy little gnomey dude and I had the ghost car roll up on me. And that there was one night we had some guys like out, like way out in the field. And I was walking because I had an assistant and he was out in the field, but his girlfriend was like hanging out with me. And she was just one of those that just can't shut up. And it was dark. Like this campground is dark. And we were walking out, like leaving the light, and the wood line was off to our left, and something was shadowing us in the wood line. Like, and it was bipedal for sure. And we would walk and it would walk, and I'd stop and listen, and it would stop. And then we'd start walking. And I did this for a while, and she's just yap, 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 and not even realizing what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, will you be like, shut up? And so I'm telling her, I was like, there's something stalking us in the wood line. And then she started freaking out. I probably shouldn't have told her that. But I mean, it all happens in this one area, this one campground. And I won't tell anybody the name of it because I don't want it inundated. Yeah.
Droves of people.
Yeah. I used to take our crew out there and do training camps there at night because it was so dang creepy.
Yeah.
That, if you can like handle that, because we used to have a lot of people like join our group and they were like, oh, I'm a hunter. And then I'd get them out there and they'd hear a nutria on the lake and freak out. They'd hear, like a barn owl up in the tree and they'd be like, what's that? I mean, one person ran for their car. I had one guy like pull a gun on another member walking back into camp one night. I was like, no guns for anybody.
Like,
that jumping.
I would be down with that too. Like, I've looked for Bigfoot in Fouke, Arkansas. That was neat.
Yeah, Fouke's, that's pretty thick back in there.
Oh yeah, there's some. I got to talk to Smokey Crabtree on the phone. This was years ago.
Yeah. Smokey's sweet.
Oh yeah, he was a great.
He
was a great guy.
Did you get to see his big cat?
No, I didn't get to meet him in person. I got to talk phone. I wish I would have been able to meet him in person. Because when I went to Falk, it was like 2017 ish, 2018, and he had already been passed away and everything. Yeah. We went out there looking for Bigfoot though on a nice cold winter day and didn't find anything, but it was neat. It was just an experience to go out there in Boggy Creek and walk around. And,
oh, you got to do it. Like go out to the bean field. The bean field's where you got to go.
I get to go to that, but that's on my list. Now that I know Lyle Blackburn, I've been Facebook friends with. Hold on, I've been Facebook friends with him forever, and I finally got to meet him at this convention last spring, and I told him, dude, and before I jump off of here, so Seth Breedlove, do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know Seth.
Yeah, so we were talking about Marphalites. Breezy could tell you about Marphalites. I'm obsessed. I got it tattooed all over me.
They're interesting. I'm curious about them.
Yeah, they're very interesting. And I told him and he's interested in doing a video, like a documentary. And I told him, I will 100% film drone stuff and give it to you in high def 4K. I will do that for your documentary, 100% free. Just let me know and we'll get on this, and hopefully they can, because they want to make this video on that. So
I bet he will. He'll get to it. Yeah, he's systematically like going through each like little thing in the US.
Great guy. Breezy, have you met him yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good guy. But
yeah, Seth is super sweet. His mom and dad were like really great too.
I've been friends with him for a while on Facebook. He's super cool. But I'm getting summoned over here.
Okay.
So,
all right, brother.
This was fun. Thank y'all so much, and I'll check your channel out.
Thank you.
And y'all be in touch, and we'll get something going. I got my notes here from Mark Carmel. We're gonna try to get some ghost hunting down there.
Yeah, man. My Saturday nights are always open, so if anytime y'all, either one of y'all, both of you, want to come on Saturday nights, sitting there twiddling your thumbs, yeah.
Dude, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds
all right, Woody.
All right. Thank y'all for having me.
Good talking to you.
Likewise.
All right, brother.
I don't know how to hang up.
Put you back.
There it goes. Later, y'all.
Later, bro. Yeah, that's Woody, my boy.
He's awesome.
Actually, if it weren't for Woody, there's a good chance I wouldn't be married to Jennifer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met her at his wedding. He is okay. So the guy that I did music with for 20 freaking years, they went to the same high school that Woody went to, and then they moved up here with their dad, and so it was like they were kind of like the neutral spot, and Woody and his people were their homies from over there, and me and my people were their homies from over here, and so we ended up meshing, and yeah, I went to Woody's wedding, and Jennifer was there, and she had a dude. It's so bad, but I don't give a shit.
You're married now, so whatever.
Yeah, she had a dude at the time, and I had a wife at the time, but females are attractive, So I'm like staring at her, but I have my lokes on, and I'm just staring at her, and my wife's like, "Are you looking at that girl?" And I'm like, "No, I got my sunglasses." I'm not looking at her. No way. Yeah, no way. And then on the same token, come to find out later on, Jen's on the other side. She's like, "Yeah, I think that guy's like staring at me." To her, dude.
I'm being stalked at a wedding.
Yeah, exactly. And then years later, I was doing a show in San Antonio at Reptiles, and I was going to go backstage to get ready for the set, and I heard this little blonde chick. She's like, "Breezy, oh my god!" I'm like, I didn't even remember her, and I was like, "Dude, this freaking blonde chick," because you're used to groupies and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, this freaking blonde chick, man, she hit me up. I'm gonna have to hit her up after the show, bro. And it turned out it was Jen. She's like, you don't remember me? And I'm like, nah. She's like, Woody's wedding, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, yeah. What's up, girl? And
What's up?
the rest is history.
There you go. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I like that story.
It's a good one. It's a good one. A
Yeah,
little bit of adultery in it, but it's a good one.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That shit happens.
Right.
Woody he's really cool. I like him.
Yeah.
He'd get along with Chris because Chris was a cameraman too, because he filmed all kinds of stuff. Yeah. He did the whole expedition down in Ecuador. He used to film like travel series like all over the world. So
well, now we got a team together.
Right. I think that we should do that YouTube series that I've been like, it's been bobbling around in my head for decades now. But yeah, I think that would be fun.
That's the best to do, because if you've had time to sit there and bounce it around in your nugget, like coming up on something spur of the moment is way harder than if you've actually just been, kind of tossing around the different ideas, filtering out the shit that, you're like, but, oh, that's a good point. Good.
Yeah.
I think I'm totally down. I got your back on anything.
Yeah.
And my people are your people, and, no problem. And all we need, I guess right now, all we need is a sound guy. we got two.
I'm just trying to think. Oh, you got a sound guy?
I can find one, yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, we could, like, between the two of us, I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem digging somebody
up. I mean, we're both hot. We can just,
I'll just go flirt.
Hey, I'll get the sound guy, because that's my nice up, bro.
Seth is so sweet. I knew Seth before Seth was a filmmaker. I met Seth when he was still a reporter for a little newspaper out in Ohio. And he had come to the Ohio conference one year.
Ohio's a crazy spot too.
Yeah, Ohio is crazy. And if you want to go to a crazy conference, go to the Ohio conference.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I mean, that is it's been a minute since I've been there, but I mean, in my time, it started off small, and then Mark DeWorth and et al. Like, I think it's a group of people, but Mark's kind of spearheading it. Took it over, and it just blew up. I mean, one year there were like 500 people there. We started these like the Balls of Fury one year. A group of us were, because there's a fire pit in the center of this hotel, right? It's a lodge. It's a whole lodge. And it's got a lake, and it's got all these cabins that you can rent around the lake. So like party cabin one night, party in the lodge one night. I mean, there's little pop-up parties everywhere. But there's a fire pit in the center of the lodge, and it's 3 stories right there. And you can look straight up the staircase, like all the way up. And what we would do is, we were drunk as shit. We snuck upstairs onto the 3rd floor the first year we did it. And we took like those, those super bouncers, those little rubber balls that you get like out of the gum.
Yeah.
And we took those up onto the 3rd floor, and we just started lobbing them down into the pit as hard as we could. And they would ricochet, knock and we just called it Balls of Fury.
Nice.
The last year I was there, I was trying to get a new one started, which was luggage cart surfing. Take the hotel's luggage carts and out to the parking lot, because it's it's sloped. It's Ohio. There's hills, and it was me and the Assorties, and like we were surfing those puppies down that parking lot.
Hell yeah.
So it's that kind of place. It's that kind of party.
So what part of Ohio is this at?
It's in Southeast Ohio. It's at Salt Fork Lodge.
Okay, southeast. Okay, so
Salt Fork. South Fork.
So
Salt
like West
Fork
Virginia.
Like it's real close to the border. Yeah, it's north of West Virginia and west of Pennsylvania. So it's like kind of that right there. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, it's funny because like the dude that owns the Texas Chainsaw gas station, they're from Ohio. They're from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I'll be coming up to him and I'll be like, dude, telling him all about all this shit in Ohio. And he's like, dude, how the fuck are you from Texas and you know all this shit about Ohio that I don't even fucking know? And then I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, because it's Bigfoot country. He's like, and then like he instantly gets like wide-eyed and he's like, dude, he's like, man, Bigfoot scares the shit out. So apparently like in I guess Texas and Mexican culture, your mom always threatens you with the kukui. If you keep
the kukui.
Keep
They've got a kukui room too.
Gonna get you. Yeah. Kukui's gonna get you, but up there, it's Bigfoot will get you. Like if you act up or if you don't come home by the time the street lights are on, Bigfoot's gonna snatch your ass up. So he's like got an instilled fear of Bigfoot from childhood.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, Ohio is awesome. I mean, one of the last times I went up to the conference, I forget where I flew. I flew in somewhere. I went to go stay with my friend a night or two in Sandusky, and then we drove like diagonally across the state to get to Salt Fork. And I mean, it's Amish country. Let me tell you, it's Amish country.
Literally.
But it's beautiful. My goodness. I mean, I'm glad I did that because it's really, really pretty until you get to Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Until you get to Cleveland. Cleveland's got some crazy, there's there's like a whole dish where what's it called? The Black Mansion or whatever it is, or the Black Castle. That's what it's called. And that apparently that whole block is full of like these Gothic, old school houses. It's like downtown.
Cool architecture, but I mean, it's a ghetto ass pit. My daughter dated some guy from there, right? And his parents were fairly well off. Like they had a house on the lake and all that. So like she wasn't in the crap hole part of town. She ended up moving there for a little while to live with her boyfriend. But I was like, Cleveland, like Cleveland of all the freaking, it's just, I don't like Cleveland. It's the most ghetto airport I've ever been into. Like I was like, give me the fuck out of here. I mean, I imagine Detroit is probably worse.
Right. No, Howard the Duck said it the best. Like here in Cleveland. But yeah, like in Howard the Duck, it was like even back then, well, the 80s everything was a shithole in the 80s. If you think about it, New York, like, think of the Warriors and shit like that. It's like, can't ride. Yeah, come out and play. But yeah, it was all graffiti and punks and you couldn't ride public transit and, same with Detroit, Cleveland, all up there.
I think Detroit is even worse now. Like it is so much worse now. Everything's shut down and
it's completely depopulated, so it's a ghost town.
Yeah, and what people are still there probably like the type that would live in a ghost town,
right?
And
I always wanted to go to, and that's just I guess the bad dude in me, but I always wanted to go to Detroit on Devil's Night, just to go experience the mayhem and participate maybe a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you get to, participate in a quasi purge like situation.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm going to dress up for this year too for Halloween is the purge. And I go like balls out for Halloween. Like I do it all. Like
we do too.
Last year I was Medusa and I had this big snake headpiece that I made. Yeah, this year I'm going to do I think I'm going to do the purge because it's pretty simple. I think I already have that mask with the neon, and I just got to buy an old. I just got to buy an old like button-down shirt and just. It's really fun because I did it like during COVID, but nobody saw it because it was COVID. So, but yeah, I just hang the shirt up and I go get a kitchen knife and I just slash the shit out of the shirt and then put the fake blood all over it and instant Halloween costume.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be fun, like to just lurk in the shadows during Hell Night.
Yeah, we do Halloween pretty big too ourselves. Like we'll literally, like I actually, because I got the white contacts, so one of my favorites is I have this. It's old, man. It's like probably from I don't know, maybe the 80s or even the 70s, but it's like an authentic like cloak cape with a hood.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the clown mask, but it's not a mask. It's actually like of course it's a mask, but not like a plastic mask. It's like a rubber whole piece. And then I put my white eyes, in and shit. And I literally scare the shit out of people. Like people will hide their children from me and kids will cry.
So I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I dressed up as a plague doctor. Like you didn't know who was there. You couldn't tell it was me. I had the whole mask.
Yeah.
I had the cane. I had the black robes. I had the rosary, hanging and all the belt with everything. And I mean, I was 100% covered head to toe. You didn't know who was in there.
Exactly.
Freaked out people at work. Freaked out the people who were. And then my husband and I would take my son trick-or-treating in this, wealthier area of Dallas. I terrorized them little kids. Like them little kids. This one girl like stopped and then ran over to the nearest fence and just buried her head in the fence and was like whining. And her parents were like around her. And I was like, shit, I feel like an ass. I felt like an asshole. So yeah, my husband thought it was hilarious because he had like this skeleton mask on. He had a cloak like you had, like, covering all of it. And he had like the skeleton hands, but I'm out there like full on plague doctor, like checking everybody out.
Right. Yeah. Cause that's, acting it is the most part of it. Like, cause I literally change my movements. Cause I get into character,
Oh yeah, I will too. Like I'll lean heavy into it if it's a kid.
Oh yeah.
But I felt bad scaring a 5-year-old. I mean, how hard is that? I was like, sorry, kid. Like I almost started taking the mask off. And
no, it's Halloween.
I could just get the soundtrack to Eyes Wide Shut, with the prayers. That would have been best. Just have it playing in my pocket while I'm walking around.
Hell yeah. See, that's why we match energy so well. We're the same people. We just never met until recently.
See? Yeah. See,
okay, so I know you got like 10 minutes before you go on BMRs, so I don't want to keep you. But so I just want to ask you, okay, real quick, if you can sum it up in 5 or 6 minutes or something. It doesn't have to be real, but when you were a kid, what was the scariest ghost story that you were ever told that really like stuck in your nugget and
that really freaked me out?
Yeah, like an oral story, like something that your parents told you or grandpa told you or something like that.
So my mom thought it would be really funny. I don't know, maybe not funny, just passing on the family trauma, to tell me all about Lechusa.
Oh, the Lechusa.
Yeah, so she told me about how my grandfather was walking home from a dance, like when he was young. He was a young man. And he was coming down the dirt road, and it was at first a blue ball of light, and then it went up into the tree, and then it turned into Owl Woman. It turned into Lechusa, and Lechusa was hopping from tree to tree, yelling at him, like screeching at him. And I want to say it called his name. I could be wrong, because it was a long time ago she told me the story. But I remember Lechusa followed my grandfather home, and they had to get like a, I forget what she called her. They had to get like a spiritual lady to come out, basically.
Like a bruja.
Like, well, kind of like a bruja, but I mean, people have like
More,
a negative connotation with bruja.
Right.
You know, it's
more like a shamanistic bruja.
kind of, yeah, like a medicine woman, kind of. Let's say, to come out and basically pray for my grandpa because he got sick. Because that's what they do. They make you sick, and they hang out around the house and try to suck the life out of you, basically. And she would tell me what she looked like, and I think that scared me too. Like, because she's like, she's got the owl feet, and she's got the beak, the beak nose, and she's just this dark witch who's out to steal your life force, essentially. And that scared the bejeebus out of me. And I wasn't even like a young kid when my mom told me. I was probably like freaking 10 or something. It's not like I was like, 6 years old.
Right.
I was old enough to be like, sure. Some dude already tried to kidnap me. Tell me all about the owl lady.
Did they have the hair, the long gray hair and shit?
Well, she had black hair in my mom's story.
Okay.
She looked like a black owl or a raven. I mean, for some reason, I have like a raven in my head, but I mean, she was all black. She had the big black eyes and the beak, but she was like, a mesh between, and she wasn't even necessarily old. She could be young looking, but it's, a mesh between an owl and a woman. But the owl feet is what freaked me out, right? Because she's holding on to the branches in the tree with those clawed feet. And the big black eyes, like you see with owls, right? Big black eyes. And I just picture not even like a human hook nose, but kind of a cross between a actual raptor beak, right? In a human nose. So I mean,
like a plague doctor.
Yeah, kind of like a plague doctor. So I mean, that's what my mind was conjuring up from my mother's description back then. I just remember being like, F that, man. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. Mine was, my grandpa had a bunch of them from when he lived in Mexico and then as a kid, and then also in like South Texas. But his was this, he used to go to school. You'd have to like hop fences and go through ranches, shortcut to school. And he said that one day he went over the fence and there was this a dead cow, and he said that it stunk, and
right.
But no one ever did nothing about it. It was just there, and he went until that thing was like pretty much down to like bone and gristle, and it was pretty much just damn near bone. It took like half the school year or whatever, and then one day I think it was like when the seasons changed and it's like dark time, when you're going to, at the same time in the morning. And he went and hopped the fence, and he said that the cow started trying to stand up, but it couldn't because like it wasn't connected in certain parts. But it was like opening its jaw like it was trying to move. Like it was like, like zombie.
Like zombie cow,
yeah. And I was like, yep, nope, fuck that.
Nope.
Yeah.
You got zombie cow and Lechusa. Those are our childhood traumas.
Yeah. There was another one where my uncle or my great uncle, his brother, supposedly caught a Lechusa. There's a whole story behind that one. Couple other weird ones.
That's dangerous. That's a dangerous little game.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I know you got the show going on in 5 minutes, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Always, yeah. And anytime you want to come on, or anytime you want me on, you already know we got each other's back.
I know we're hitting each other up on our shows now.
Right.
The regular co-host just bouncing back and forth between platforms.
Right. And let BMR know if he wants me to jump on, man. I'm totally down. I ain't got shit going on tonight, so
sure.
I'm about it. If he needs an extra person on the scene,
got it.
Another dude to deal with all y'all chicks,
Another guy.
He's probably like, new
Virgin factory there.
I'm gonna be the only man.
It's because I was raised by my dad.
Right. But I guess go ahead and give your sign out. Shoot your channel. Give everyone in the chat some love, and we'll go from there.
So thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in with Joe and I, Breezy and I. My channel is Our Paranormal World here on YouTube. Go check me out. There's a couple of them, so you might have to type in the @ and then Monica's, like plural Monica's Paranormal World, and it's all run on. There's no spaces, and that'll take you straight to my channel. I also have a Facebook page, and Instagram is our_para_world. And if you have anything you want to shoot me, any stories, or just want to say, hey, my email is opw.monica@gmail.com. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you guys in chat. You can hop on over to BMR if Joe's going to sign out. Otherwise, stay here and talk to Joe.
No, I'm good. I'm going to roll out. Yeah.
And I go live every Thursday night on YouTube. So Thursday nights at 10. So go check it out. I got some shorts, and we'll see you later.
I'm on there. I'm on it.
He is. He's on both of them, actually. All right. We'll check you all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up the show. Thank all y'all for tuning in. It's been a blast. I love keeping it loose and BSing. Y'all know me. If you don't know me by now, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah, but if y'all catch me on either BMR's or Blonde and Booze or Monica's channel, or Friday nights, I'm always on Paranormal Roundtable. You can check me out there. And occasionally I come on here. It is what it is. Mickey G, love you. Thank you for always tuning in. You're, one of my favorite peoples. Yeah, so that wraps another one up. For everybody out there, one love, God bless. Keep searching for the truth, because it's out there. We just got to be able to figure this shit out. Peace.